Right, diving right in today. We're going deep on Psalm 28, and we're working with the New Living Translation from YouVersion.
You got it.
So this is an ancient text, obviously.
Yeah.
And we're going to see like how relevant it is still like today.
Yeah. We want to kind of trace like the emotional arc of this psalm without getting, too bogged down in the details.
Right.
Just hit some of the key themes. Really kind of see it as a snapshot of, prayer, a very human prayer.
Okay, so it starts right away with this really like intense plea. "O Lord, my rock, do not turn a deaf ear to me." Like it's so direct.
Right off the bat.
It's like so desperate.
It is, and it kind of speaks to this fundamental human need for responsiveness. When you're going through a crisis, right, whether that's a personal crisis or a societal crisis, we all crave that sense of being heard.
Yeah.
And you can just feel the emotions kind of escalating here. Like just in that first verse, the speaker even goes on to say, "For if you are silent, I might as well give up and die." I mean, talk about dire straits. This is serious business.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not even just words, right? It's like verse 2 mentions lifting hands towards the holy sanctuary while they're asking for mercy. Like there's a physicality to it.
Yeah, it's not just a mental or emotional exercise. It's like a full body experience. That gesture just emphasizes the vulnerability, the desperation. There's a real sense of dependence on something outside of themselves.
Right, right. Okay, so then verses 3 through 5, it kind of takes a turn, right?
It does.
It's not just asking for personal help anymore.
It's not. It gets a little bit more pointed.
Yeah. There's suddenly this like really strong request for judgment against the wicked.
Yeah, there's this call for justice. For those who speak friendly words but are really planning evil. It's like they're two-faced, right?
Huge contrast.
Yeah, big time. And I think what's fascinating here is, you have this juxtaposition of the plea for mercy and then this desire for justice. And the speaker is very clear, like, don't lump me in with those guys.
Yeah.
I don't want to be associated with these people who are duplicitous, who are hypocrites. And there's a real strong sense that their actions should have consequences.
Yeah, yeah. Give them the punishment they so richly deserve.
Yeah, exactly. Let them reap what they have sown. That sort of idea.
Right. And then in verse 5, it even says, they care nothing for what the Lord has done. Like that's the reason. That's like the reason why they should be punished. Like this blatant disregard for the divine.
It's like a disregard for what's seen as right and wrong. There's a lack of accountability. And it's interesting because that disregard is seen as the reason for their downfall. It's a strong statement about responsibility and the consequences of our actions. I think that's something that resonates with us even today, right? We grapple with these ideas of justice and accountability all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so then just as quickly as it shifts again in verse 6.
It does. Big time.
Right back to like this like really positive, praise the Lord, for he has heard my cry for mercy.
Right. It's like this huge sigh of relief.
Yeah, like a weight has been lifted.
Yeah. And it suggests a turning point, right? It's like maybe the prayer has been answered, or at least there's this renewed sense of faith and hope.
Yeah. So then in verse 7, it goes on to like explain like why he's praising. The Lord is my strength and my shield. I trust him with all my heart. That's beautiful.
It is. It really is. And it just paints this powerful image of protection and reliance, right? It's like surrendering to a higher power, finding refuge in something bigger than yourself. And if we connect this to the bigger picture for you, think about times when you felt that weight lifted, that sense of relief, that joy and gratitude that leads to, like the psalm says, songs of thanksgiving. It's a very human response to feeling supported and cared for.
Okay, and then in verses 8 and 9, it broadens out.
It does. It goes beyond the individual.
It goes to his people.
Right. It's not just about me and my problems anymore. It's about the community as a whole. And now God is seen as the source of strength for everyone, a safe fortress for his anointed king. And that's likely referring to King David, God's chosen leader for Israel.
Right.
So it speaks to this idea of collective well-being and leadership, that a good leader should provide strength and security for their people.
Right, right. And then it wraps up with this like beautiful image. Lead them like a shepherd and carry them in your arms forever. That's so tender.
It is. It's this really powerful picture of care and protection for all of God's people. Israel, your special possession.
Yeah, your inheritance.
And that image, I think, raises a key question for us today about our own fundamental needs for guidance and security, both as individuals and as part of a larger community. That desire for a shepherd's care, that longing for someone to watch over us, to guide us, it's timeless.
Right, so we've got this short psalm, and it's just got this really powerful, emotional journey, right? From this desperate plea and a call for justice to this complete trust and praise. And then it ends with that like comforting image of divine care.
Yeah, it really runs the gamut of human emotions. And I think what's really striking is how these contrasting emotions exist side by side. It's not like one cancels out the other. It shows a very real, very complex human relationship with the divine, especially during tough times.
For sure. It really makes you wonder how those same raw feelings,
Hmm.
like vulnerability, that desire for justice, and just that search for strength, like how that resonates with our own experiences today.
Absolutely. So consider this. How might the honesty and the emotional shifts within this ancient prayer offer you a new way to think about your own moments of difficulty? Where do you find strength and solace? What does your safe fortress look like?
Yeah, that's something to think about.
For sure.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Take care.